Hi, welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. I'm your host, Brian Koval. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you want to see me play your favorite deck or your spicy brew on the channel, I take donation deck lists. I'll do a deck tech, play a full Magic Online League, and help tune your list. If that sounds good, check out my contact info. It's in the video description below. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and Modern Horizons 2 is legal, and that means I get to play this deck. This is a request from subscriber Friedrich, who wanted me to take kind of a Steel Stompy shell and turn it into a Mystic Forge Affinity prison deck. And the way that I interpreted that is we have prison elements in Chalice of the Void and Thorn of Amethyst, of course, are in the deck. And then the plan is to use Mystic Forge to shred through your deck. If you get this card into play, you should cast a bunch of spells for free very quickly. And even if you don't get this into play, the disruption of Thorn and Chalice hopefully will get your undercosted, oversized beaters into play. So we have the traditional Affinity Frogmite, Mirror Enforcer, and Thoughtcast. Then Modern Horizons 2 has just brought to the fold Thought Monitor, which is a 2/2 flying Thoughtcast for 7 with Affinity for artifacts, and Sojourner's Companion, which is functionally Mirror Enforcer. You can also artifact land cycling. I don't think that's going to come up in this league, but it's there. So we basically get 8 Mirror Enforcers and Thought Monitor, 8 Thoughtcast. I almost said Thoughtkeys. 8 Thoughtcasts, 8 Mirror Enforcers, and we're just going to try to go fast here. The one thing I want to say about this list is that Friedrich specifically asked me not to play Grim Monolith, City of Traders, or Lion's Eye Diamond because they are not able to afford those cards in real life and probably never will with the ridiculousness of the reserve list. So if you really wanted to optimize this list, the Ethereum Sculptor should probably be Grim Monolith and replace probably these artifact lands and the basic with City of Traders, or maybe at least 2 of them. That's how I'd optimize it, but I think we're going to do a pretty good impression without those cards here today. So let's see how many cards I can draw in one turn and how quick we can get these games over with. I'm on the draw here with this almost banger. I can almost cast Frogmite. Being on the draw, any 0 drop other than Mox Opal or any artifact land sets this hand off, I'm going to keep it. And I said in the deck tech that cycling for lands probably won't come up, but this is a hand that it could happen. Oh, got there instantly. Easy money. So I'm just going to play the Citadel and pass because I can't get Metalcraft this turn. So I want to surprise my opponent with what I'm capable of next turn. They have Grixis fetch lands right now, so this could be a Delver, this could be a Storm deck. If it's Storm, we might be embarrassed in a second here when they just storm us out and ignore everything we're doing. But I think in general our Storm matchup is pretty solid. We just haven't drawn the relevant cards for that matchup this game yet. Right, I haven't done Affinity math in a very long time, so I can fire off Mystic Forge straight into Daze this turn, or I can play around Daze next turn. So 4, 5, 6. I could cast Sojourner's Companion this turn, but it'll cost me my companion, or my opal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I'm actually 1 short. This thing costs 3. 1, 2. No, it's right. Good luck. Thank you for your patience, letting me get used to how to play Affinity again. My opponent just lost connection to the game. Let's hope they come back, because I'm excited to see where this hand goes. Okay, they made it back, and they shuffled their Brainstorm cards at the end of the turn. It's kind of funny that Lightning Bolt is also Stone Rain here, because of the Affinity. So I already have a land drop. I think this will be more useful as a 4/4. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't really change anything. Maybe it does. Yeah, I'm gonna cycle this for a Darksteel Citadel. Alright, Wasteland. So it does look like we're playing against a Delver deck. Ooh, they have Ragavan. That card is $99 right now on Magic Online. So good job, opponent. Going in. They are not playing around. Ragavan, if you haven't seen this card, by the way, 1 mana 2/1. When it deals damage to a player, create a treasure token and exile the top card of that player's library. Until end of turn, you may cast that card. Good luck. There's not a single card in my deck that you want. And then it has dash for 1 and a red. And dash is you can cast it for its dash cost, it gains haste, and then it goes back to your hand at the end of the turn. They did not shuffle their ponder. It blocks Ragavan, at the very least. Yeah, I'm going to invest in Ethereum Sculptor right now. If they have Force of Will, they probably have to pop it off just to at least connect with Ragavan. This card costs 2 right now. So I actually could cast this thing. But I would be casting it into Daze. Which is not something I'm super excited about. I can cast it for 1 next turn. Yeah, I'm going to play around Daze where I can. I'm not under a super huge amount of pressure yet, and I think that if I can start sticking my 2-for-1s, I'm going to win this game. Alright, Ragavan's going to connect. It's treasure time. Let's flip them a Frogmite that they could never cast. Ethereum Sculptor. I guess they could technically cast that one. Though it does very little for them, or their deck. Expressive Iteration. Yep, Ethereum Sculptor will remain uncast, to the surprise of no one. I bet Dragon's Rage Channeler is also in their deck. That's a card I'm pretty excited about, or at least interested to see where it goes. Personally, not really my style, but it's a 1 mana 1/1 that when you cast a non-creature spell, you surveil 1, and when you have Delirium, it's a 3/3 flying that has to attack every turn. Ooh, that was kind of a brick of an Expressive Iteration. Alright, so I can move in on the Mystic Forge playing around Daze right now. Or I could cast this thing also playing around Daze right now. I think I like that. As far as spells I want to resolve, Mystic Forge outranks Thought Monitor. Yeah, that's worth a Force of Will. No doubt about that. Pitching Brazen Borrower. That means Ragavan gets to crack in again. This is definitely doing the work. It's worth the $99. Thoughtcast. 1, 2, 3, 4. They can't quite cast that. That is a really good one for them to hit, though. The treasure counts as 2 because when you announce Thoughtcast, it's reduced by 1, and then you can sack the treasure to pay for the cost is locked in when you announce, and then you can use the treasure to pay. So if they have a land, they could actually Thoughtcast right now, which is pretty scary. Oh, they can Thoughtcast. I made fun of Ragavan, but this is definitely the kind of card you're looking for. Cast. Okay, so still playing around Daze. Here's Mystic Forge. If they have another Force, then this game is going to get real bad real quick. But if this resolves, it does not, of course. Alright, I think we're dead. But a Thought Monitor, another Mystic Forge. There's ways this game could go well. Alright, they're definitely not casting this one. It costs 7. And they currently have 5 for an Affinity thing. Even with a land drop, that's not enough to Thought Monitor. Though, that did just rip the Thought Monitor off the top of my deck, which is exactly the draw I was looking for. Now they have a Ponder. So, we're just getting Delvered here. They've had 2 Force of Wills on 2 important things, and this is doing a pretty good Dreadhorde Arcanist impression right now. Hey. 1, 2. Let's go. Do you have a 3rd Force? Are we cooking with gas? This costs 1. And then this will cost 0. Can't daze any of this. Yeah. Nice Ragavan. Okay, so $99 card facing down a couple basically free cards. And the walls are up. I do need to... Actually, that's not even true. I was about to say I need to find a way to move this game forward, but I can attack for 6 every turn. And still leave up a blocker for Ragavan. So if we can keep the Thoughtcast rolling... I'm okay committing to a damage race. Like, the cards they flip off the top of my deck with Ragavan aren't super relevant. Though I guess with the second treasure, a lot of my affinity things are on. But they're at 8. They're on a 2-turn clock. I'm ready to punch. They exiled Mystic Forge. Yeah, that one doesn't really help. Would have been great for me, but doesn't help them much. Please cast it. Oh my god, that's so funny. Cast Artifact and Colorless Spells. I guess the pay 1 life, exile your top card could be relevant for them, but they are at 8, facing down an onboard lethal attack. This doesn't just cast any spell off the top of the deck, it only casts Artifact and Colorless Spells. Alright, yeah, they figured it out and conceded. Nice. Wow, we just overpowered 2 Force of Wills and Ragavan that connected 3 or 4 times. That was pretty good. Exile target creature with power toughness 1 or less. Ragavan fits that bill. Walking Ballista is basically in the deck for matchups like this one. Dismember. None of this stuff really matters. The additional spheres of resistance are basically only for combo, although Delver also struggles with them, but I think that the Thorns and Chalices are enough. And what is not so good? I basically never like drawing redundant Mox Opals. That's always a card I'm willing to shave in fair matchups where cards matter. What else? The Ethereum Sculptor might be a little medium. It's one of the few 2-drops that I have, but I think I can get away with it. And then maybe I just bring in Warping Whale and 2 Dismembers and call it a day. Because I don't want to dilute my primary plan too much, and just having a few extra things I can do sounds like a fine deal. I will admit that the sideboard is not mapped particularly well. I just put in artifact cards that I think could be good in Legacy without really doing the work to like what comes in and what comes out in every matchup. But if you're serious about playing this deck, you can put in that work later. Alright, I'm going to keep this Thorn of Amethyst hand. If they have a turn 1 creature of basically any kind, yeah, Delver, sure, can play through that. I'm gonna play my Opal before my Thorn because it will cost mana next turn, and might as well get it in while it's free. Oh, they didn't have the days. That's good news. Now I need this Thought Monitor to challenge the Delver in a meaningful way. Expressive Iteration. Yeah, Wasteland. Wasteland's the card I was worried about. But now we have to race this Delver. Thought Monitor versus Delver. Dual decks. So this costs 6 minus 3. This costs 3 right now. This one costs 4 right now. So none of these are ready to pop off yet. This costs 4. So I just have to pass the turn and develop for another turn. Try to pull ahead here. There's some damage coming in, of course. See what the follow-up is. It's the Ragavan. Okay, so Seat of the Synod is worth more mana than Ancient Tomb. Ancient Tomb taps for 2, but every card in my hand has Affinity. So this is like an extra mana per card in hand. So you cost 3. I can cast you. You cost 3 as well. I could cast you. I guess this is the bigger one. If I'm playing into Daze either way, I'd prefer Thought Monitor to resolve. And I'm going to go with the card that isn't going to die to Bolt. And they can't bust, or not Boom Bust, Dead Gone. They can't Gone this because Gone costs 4. The Wasteland's pretty good here. But they made it clear they don't have Daze. And this replaced the artifact for the Thought Monitor count. If they can force Thought Monitor, they'll probably win. They also have a bunch of removal spells for it. So this currently costs 3. I think Ancient Tomb is a better way to play this. Just get around Daze. Going to 7, don't love it. Oh, they could Red Elemental Blast this. Yeah, not being able to remove Delver is a problem here. Okay, that will probably end the game, because the Delver puts me to 4 in Bolt range. If I tap Ancient Tomb, I'm just at 2. That was the one that I needed to stick around. It didn't work. Yeah, welcome to being on the draw against a Delver. So I can play Lotus Petal, which is basically free, and then I can Thought Cast. And I'm dead to the Delver. Okay. On the draw versus Delver Secrets. Welcome to Legacy. That's alright. We got a plan. Maybe... Well, Warping Whale doesn't answer Delver once it's flipped. Basically, only Dismember does. Dismember and my flying creatures, or just racing it. So I'm just gonna run the same deck, but on the play this time, and hope that works out better. Okay, on the play, I have a turn 1 Chalice. This is nice. Yeah, let's keep this one. Haven't seen that yet. Neither has my opponent. Oh, they mulled to 5. What you like to see against Chalice of the Void. So now even if they have the force for Chalice, they'll have 3 cards in their hand. Though I don't have a whole lot of follow-up. This might be on cycling duty. We'll see how this... So if their 5-card hand has force and wasteland, we could actually be in a little bit of trouble. But let's plan for the best. Don't have to play around days here because we're on the play. Alright, Chalice is just in there against the Delver opponent on 5 cards. That should be pretty good. Alright, they had the wasteland. That's fine. That keeps them under Chalice for another turn. And this card is indestructible. I'm going to hold on to Lotus Petal. They don't need to know what I'm capable of. Just land go. You got it. Land, please. Ooh, Mox Opal is really good. So 0 drop. 0 drop. And then I can Thought Cast here for 1. They can't Red Blast it because I have Chalice. Oh yeah. Now we're doing the Affinity thing. And I'm about to cast my whole hand. Oh, maybe not. I'm 1 short of doing all that. So in that case, I'm just going to play around days and dump my hand next turn. Though if they daze me, like it cost me the Lotus Petal, I could just play my entire hand next turn. Yeah, I'm just going to ship it. I'm going to minimize as many cards as I can out of them now because I'm just so far ahead that I don't want to give them any edge I don't have to. Free spell. Or 1 mana spell. Free spell. Free spell. And that should do it. And it did in fact do it. They took their draw and packed it up. Easy game. On to the next round. I have won the die roll in round number 2. And I'm going to keep this turn 1 Chalice of the Void hand. Turn 2 Thoughtcast. Put it in my veins. Might have a turn 2 Mystic Forge also. Let's go. Hope Chalice is good in this matchup. And if they spend a Force of Will on this, then that's a Force of Will they don't have for Mystic Forge. But this is exciting stuff. I could actually Thoughtcast right now. Like if Chalice resolves, I'll have 4 artifacts and I can announce Thoughtcast for 1, then use Lotus Petal to pay for it. I'm not sure if spewing my Petal to draw 2 cards right now when I have no mana available is worth doing. In fact, I'm sure that it's not, but it is a thing I could do. Told you my brain would eventually wrap around the Affinity math. Chalice is in there. This is where we're playing against Eldrazi, and they get to make fun of my Chalice. Nope. We love to see a polluted Delta after resolving Chalice. Alright. I'm going to start with my Thoughtcast. Nice. This is free. Really missing my land here. Don't love that. I could spend my Petal to get Thorn into play, which basically shuts down Mystic Forge forever. I could also cycle the Sojourner, but that would also cost me my Lotus Petal and not really advance the board state in any meaningful way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could cast this, but that also cost me the Lotus Petal. I actually think it's time for Thorn. Like if we're going to play this prison-y game, this is the game I'm going to sign up for. And if they daze this, it sets them back under Chalice for another turn cycle. And if they force it, cool. Alright, yeah, so that's mostly fine. Don't love it, but Could be worse. Like I said, it puts them back under Chalice for a turn. And alright. I was just gonna say I would love an artifact land here. Because now I get to run out the big boy. Can't daze this one. The thick lad, 4/4. I hope they have Ragavan in their hand. Ah, worth a Force of Will. Too good. Force pitching Force. All of this is just clearing the way for these Mystic Forges. And Frogmite beats down. Oh, you're show and tell. Uh-oh, that changes things a little bit. This is not Delver. Right, so the Mystic Forge, can't cast it this turn, but I can cast it next turn. Then hopefully we can start shredding. I think Ancient Tomb is probably my best draw. Of course, all of this assumes they even get another turn. Yeah, the show and tell twist is a rough one. Yep, that resolves. We're in some trouble next turn. I guess we just go for Mystic Forge. That's what it's in the deck for. Hope it works. Right, gotta exile that one. Damn, that was a short party. I'm gonna keep my damage on here. Yeah, the show and tell aspect of this deck got me real good. Not sure which one I hope this is. But yeah, I definitely wanted it to be Emrakul. Like I could sack 6 permanents and continue playing the game, but Grizzlebrand, they just get to draw a bunch of cards and also put in Emrakul. Alright. Fine. Out comboed at the very end. So in the sideboard, what do I have? Warping Whale counters Show and Tell, counter target sorcery. That's a thing I can do. Spyglass can name Sneak Attack. And the rest of these cards don't matter at all. So, I can shave 1 opal. I do want to be fast against this deck, so normally I would shave 2 opals against a fair deck, but I'm just going to go with 1 here. Thorn of Amethyst is good. Ethereum Sculptor is probably a little derpy. The Mystic Forge also, I don't think I'm going to have time to do that in this matchup. I'll leave a couple of them in case I draw it, but getting Forge flooded, like what happened last game, I'm just not going to have time to do that. So this is my plan. On the play, of course. Yeah, this is a good one. So I'm going to lead on... I'm not sure which one I lead on, actually. Probably Thorn, because if I play Thorn, then they can't play 1-drops on their first turn anyway. And Thorn also messes with... I should have played Lotus Petal first. I just wasn't even thinking. Thorn also messes with Force of Will and Lotus Petal. Alright, luckily that got forced because I should have played Lotus Petal first to get around my own Thorn tax, but I didn't. I'll play around Daze with Lotus Petal, and I'm going to save my second land drop and decide what I'm going to do with it based on what they do with this Chalice. Like, if they force this, I go Ancient Tomb, backup Chalice. If this resolves, I go Seat of the Synod, Frogmite. This is still scary because, I mean, 3 and 4 drops are what's going to win this game for them, not 1 drops. But they did have to fire off a Brainstorm, and they had to redraw at least one of those cards. I could jam a Chalice on 3 right now. I have the technology. It plays straight into Daze, but I think this is my best chance to win the game. Oh no, they have the Daze. Shit. Alright, fine. I made my move. That's the thing about decks like Show and Tell. They're just so explosive that you don't really have the time to play around Daze the way you'd like. Opal's nice. It's 2 mana for this Enforcer. They're on a pretty short clock, but it's definitely a clock that Show and Tell can beat. So 6/6. Yeah, they're on a 3-turn clock, which is plenty of time for them to figure out how to win this game. That was a weird fetch. They didn't know what was on top. Oh, they just have the sneak attack here. If they have it, they have it. Oh, that's not what you wanted to do. Come on, Thought Monitor. Alright, I'll take that. I'm gonna cast it first main, because if they trade off with Frogmite, I don't want to have to take 2 from Ancient Tomb. And I'm fine trading the Frogmite for the Monkey. They have shown me weakness, I'm gonna exploit it. Now Ancient Tomb or a fetch land is lethal. Like I can put them to 1 on my next attack. No, not like this. I mean, it resolves, obviously. I'm hellbent. Maybe they'll just put in nothing. Nope. Okay, so they drew either Grizzlebrand or the Show and Tell that turn. I don't play Caracas, but I am gonna act like I can do anything here. Ooh. So if I find a blue source, I can also play the other one. Drawing 7 to try to counter this would be kind of crazy, but maybe it's fine. I don't know. Can I overpower a Grizzlebrand? Is that possible? Can it be done? Come on, blue source. Not a blue source. Where was this when they cast Show and Tell last turn? Alright, so they attack. They go to 16. Why are both of my blue sources tapped? Did I misplay? Oh, I thought casted into Thought Monitor. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Thought for a second maybe I missequenced. So if they attack, I can block with Thought Monitor, clap back for 12. So unless they want to swing for the fences right now, oh, apparently they do. All right. So they gotta kill me this turn, right? And they can't tap their Ancient Tomb. Doesn't look like they need it though. But if they found Omniscience, then they could take multiple turns. All right, yeah, that also does it. Okay, just overpowered by Sneak and Show. Both of the games were close. Didn't quite get the prison hooks in, and I'm clearly not built for this matchup. Like, I could put a Caracas or two in the 75 somewhere and at least give it a little bit of game. But overall, I think we're just going to lose this matchup if they get up above our prison elements. On to the next round. I'm on the draw in round number 3 with this hand that isn't particularly disruptive, but it's extremely explosive. I'm going to try it. Uh-oh, a Wasteland. My arch nemesis. Indestructible. Maybe they won't notice it's indestructible. It is a new card. Okay, so Bridge, Petal, Petal, Opal. That's 4 things. This will pay for itself. Whatever, let's just get in. How does this work? Can I cast this? Oh, 1 short. Alright. I knew it was close. We're ready to explode, though. Wasteland proof. Please play Thalia. Yep, don't care about that one. Time to go off. Please draw Thought Monitor. Ooh, I'll take a Thought Cast, too. Okay, so what do I lead with? This costs 2 right now because of Thalia. So I lead with this, which makes this free, which makes this 1. Oh my god. Get out of here. Okay, that's a lot of power. If there's a deck that can... My opponent said, oh fuck, LOL in the chat, and I replied with, mwahahaha. There it is. Absolute madness. But if there's a deck that can turtle up and beat this in Legacy, it might be Death and Taxes. Like, Batterskull is really good against this board. Flickerwisp doesn't really do anything. But yeah, Stoneforge Mystic is scary. Mother of Ruins. Protection from a color. What a shame. Thalia is pretty effective at breaking a lot of what I've got going on here, though. Oh, Jesus. Caca. That mwahaha in the chat is genuine now. Let's keep it going. Yeah. I'll play Ancient Tomb. I'm going to attack with my 4/4s. Actually, I think I should just lean in with everything. Or what could come in off Aether Vial and mess that up? Thalia is legendary, so it's not that. Let's go. Mother of Runes doesn't trade with any of these things. Stoneforge Mystic could bounce off an Ethereum Sculptor. But in general, I think pushing the damage is where I want to be. Oh, you have a plow? That's lucky. Okay. Take 7, and here's another jerk. Still free. I don't even care if they wasteland my Ancient Tomb at this point. Uh-oh, there's the Batterskull. That was the card I was worried about. If they can move Batterskull onto Thalia, that's actually a problem. Oh, they have Cauldron Complete, even better. I, I'm over here playing with Modern Horizons cards, and they're not. So, +5/+5, first strike, trample, indestructible, haste, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a creature, exile it. So, this does not have vigilance or reach, which are the things that I would be generally concerned about. They're not winning this race by just ramming in with their Kaldra, but they can block. So it's going to come down to the flyers here. Come on, Mystic Forge. Show me potato salad. Air Enforcer. Just more of the same. I'm going to get in with my flyer here. First strike, haste, indestructible, trample. Yep, none of the above. At some point I'll be able to go wide around Kaldra, I just don't think we're there yet. This might be a game where I need Mystic Forge to run amok. Oh no. Okay, yeah, that does. That can't hit any of my creatures, they're all 7-drops. This is a matchup where Walking Ballista comes in from the board, I think. Yeah, sure. Okay, so they're taking me off mana. With the Wasteland and the 2 ports, I just actually don't get mana anymore. If they have a... Oh, they're Hellbent. I was about to say if they have Flicker Wisp, that could be bad. But they don't. So now Mystic Forge is bad because I just don't want to have mana for the rest of the game. But I can keep flipping in with my flyer. Thalia, I'm actually a lot of mana short. I was about to say I'm 1 mana short with Sculptor of casting Forge, but I'm actually a lot more than that. Flying creatures, they're too good. Ban them all, because they're too good. I really like more Thought Monitors here. That's the best card in my deck right now. That's the worst card in my deck right now. The Opal costs 1 from Thalia, but cost -1 from Ethereum Sculptor, so this is still ramp if I need to ramp something into play. It is still a Lotus Petal. Alright, that's not a Flicker Wisp. Just anything but Flicker Wisp is fine. I guess Swords of Plowshare is also kind of a beating, but mostly Flicker Wisp. They can take me off Thoughtcast into Thoughtcast by taking me off blue. Oh yes. Best card in the deck. Put it on the stack. You know I'm going crazy with joy because I'm singing, which is not a thing that I normally do. Alright. So I'm gonna play Chalice on 1, at least get Swords to Plowshares out of the mix. Now it has to be Flicker Wisp to beat me. In we go. And Flicker Wisp doesn't even beat me anymore. It just, because now I have 2 attackers. Wow, Kaldra Complete has been a complete waste of space here. Batterskull would have been insane and took over this game. Sorry, Kaldra. I mean, complete waste of space is not fair because it has stopped them from dying to my infinite beatdowns here. But Batterskull would have been able to crunch in, gain life, move on to other creatures. Kaldra not so much. They do seem to be activating their Stoneforge Mystic, or thinking about doing that. The Charming Prince. So you flicker Stoneforge, which gets Jitte, maybe? Or is it time to think about getting Batterskull? I don't know. We'll see. What's the plan here? Do they even have Batterskull if they have Kaldra? Alright, it is Jitte. Trying to gain some life. Come on, Mystic Forge. There is a window to go off right now. That's not it. Okay, so if I attack with everything, they have Kaldra. Yeah, attacking with everything doesn't do anything that I needed to. Alright, here come these jerks. I am playing my land out in case I Thoughtcast into Thoughtcast. Having more permanents in play could matter. Also, Mystic Forge is an expensive card. So they can Violent Jitte and equip it. And by Vial, I mean Stoneforge. Stoneforge and Jitte, equip it. And then they can gain 4 life every turn while beating in with Kaldra, which does effectively check the 4 damage a turn they're taking from my monitors. First strike, haste, indestructible. Alright, so basically unblockable. Yeah, so we're about to get in a race. And luckily they're at 1, so the race is dubious. But I am going to need another Thought Monitor or Mystic Forge to go off with here. Here they come. Oh, I think everything should be... All my 4/4 should have turned sideways there. Fuck, I messed up. Alright, I'll remember it for next turn. Yeah, all my 4/4 should have turned sideways there. Just beat up on leaving back what they left back. That was a huge oversight. Whoops. Hope I don't go too punished, but their board should be 3 permanents less than it is right now, if I had played correctly. There's still no blocks here. Yeah, at 19 life, I'm in no danger of dying on the crackback. Yeah. Chalice, chalice. That was definitely an accident. There's no reason to put that card in the graveyard. Oh, okay. They figured out how to move their equipment around. Or they probably knew last turn, they just didn't have the mana to do it. So how does this work? If I attack with 4/4... Yeah, I missed my chance to crunch in with my 4/4s because now they can block with Thalia, give it +2/+2, first strike damage, gets 2 more counters on Jitte. So it's actually worse for me to attack with my 4/4s than just my flyers. Them being at 1 is a huge gift, though. Like, if they had even 3 life that they could kill one of the Thought Monitors and go to 1, rather than just have to tread water gaining life, that would be so much worse for me. Someday I'll draw a card advantage spell, and we'll get through this. Alright, yep. Just jumping Jitte around now. And now I'm at 9, so this is starting to become kind of scary. If they tread water much longer, I will be out of here. Mystic Forge, please. I need you. This is not the time to flood out. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they would have chumped with their 2 moms and Charming Prince probably on that turn that I could have attacked with everything. Dangerous. Dangerous stuff. Just gotta hope that their hand is 2 Swords to Plowshares. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to start blocking next turn if I don't find something better to do. They've played this really well. That one turn where I didn't attack was a big deal, but I still think that we end up in a similar situation. Ugh. Alright, well, here they come. So Ethereum Sculptor is largely irrelevant now. That... Oh, this has Trample, doesn't it? Yikes. Okay. So Ethereum Sculptor does not do what I need it to. This has been a great game, either way. No matter what happens. Both teams tried hard. I think what I really want to rip is just Thoughtcast into Mystic Forge, into Thought Monitor, into Thought Monitor. Just perfectly mild hopes and dreams there. This first strike, but not double strike. It exiles creatures it damages, not creatures that block it. So I can block with Sculptor and go to 1 here. I think that's better than throwing away my 4/4s already. I made fun of Cauldra like 6 turns ago, but now it's doing a really good job. They could give Pro Blue to make sure they get to remove a 4/4. So do I want to go to 1? And I think it's fine. 5. Yeah, 5 minus 2 is 3. That makes 1. Okay, that looks good to me. Alright, so I'm at 1. Time to draw something that goes off. Oh, I should have blocked with a Mystic Mirror Enforcer, because now if I do draw Mystic Forge, I can't clear my top card, because I only have 1 life. I did not consider that angle. Alright, deck, come on. Let's string something crazy together right now. It's time. That's not it. Awesome game. Alright, you did it. GG's. Okay, next round. Warping Whale exiles Stoneforge and Thalia. Sorceress Spyglass, big deal here. Walking Ballista, big deal here. Dismember also plays. These cards don't matter. I don't think I want Thorn of Amethyst in this matchup, because all of their important spells are also creatures. And Opal Flooding is bad. Okay. And then 1 more card's gotta go. It might be Chalice, though on the play against either Vile Swords of Plowshares. They're going to board out their Mother of Runes, but Chalice isn't textless in this matchup.
I think I'd rather go one less Chalice than one less Mystic Forge. This looks like the plan. That was a sweet line they found right at the very end to sort up their Cauldron with Umezawa's Jitte. This is like a kind of quick thought cast, but not super explosive. I am gonna keep this though. I feel like mana denial is the cheesiest way they have to beat me, and this hand's mana will not be denied. So obviously lead on my indestructible dual land. Caracas. I don't have any legends in my deck. Only legends in our heart. I can pay 2 life to Thoughtcast this turn. Oh no, I can't, because it'll cost 4. Nope, that doesn't do it. I'll just set up a big turn next turn. Can pay 2 to Thoughtcast, hopefully rebuild the hand. Okay, if they want to settle into a port game, that's fine. I can still Thoughtcast this turn. There's a Lotus Petal. That makes Thoughtcast even better. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. So now I have Dismember up, and next turn my 7/7s, at least one of them gets to show up. Dismember does kill the Germ token on Cauldron Complete. It's a 5/5 indestructible, but Dismember does not destruct. It puts it in the graveyard as a state-based action. Alright. Lanes. What's the play? Recruiter of the Guard. Whatever this gets is going to get dismembered. Yeah, the Stoneforge, you got it. Okay, how do I sequence this one? Seat of the Synod counts for 2 for everything that matters, so Ethereum Sculptor, free. Alright, let's hope that wasn't too late. Here's Stoneforge Mystic. Now I guess the real question is it better to dismember the Cauldron or the Mystic? Oh, they just got Batterskull now. They realize that's how you play this game. If that's the case, I think I need to just dismember Stoneforge. I even have black mana. What a treat. When I was building the deck, I wasn't sure if it mattered which blue dual land I used, but turns out it totally does. I have 2 black ones and 1 white one, literally because that's what the bots had. Oh, Disenchant's in this deck. That's a good card. So they either have a Flicker Wisp or they're saving up for one. Because the no block there, they want to set up another chain. This is the perfect board to rip Mystic Forge. Oh, they have a sweet old border Flicker Wisp, flickering the Recruiter of the Guard. That looks so good. They also played their 3rd Caracas. Come on, deck. This is the last chance I get to attack with everything. They can double block one of the 4/4s, but I'll take a 2 for 1. That clears Mother of Runes. They can double block Ethereum Sculptor, and they still lose 1 creature. Okay, or they can just chump everything. Go with that too. We're running out of time here, though, to draw a banger. They're just chugging their way into... Let's see, is it Jitte or Cauldron? It is Cauldron. I still get to attack this turn. Come on, deck. Alright, Stoneforge Mystic is summoning sick right now. Please don't tap mana. Don't have spells. Don't do anything. Just take 8. Okay, now that they've seen Dismember, the Mother of Runes has more text than it would have last game. Alright, yeah, I needed that to not happen. Right there at 7, but they're about to have Batterskull and Cauldron. Mystic Forge is the only thing that gets me out of this spot. Okay, it's putting in Batterskull right in the main phase. Oh, Luminarch Aspirant, that makes sense. Okay, now it's a 5/5 and I can never win. Mystic Forge or bust. That's not it. Okay, I can't win from here. Awesome games. That was a lot of fun. Like I said, Death and Taxes is one of the decks that can turtle up and actually beat 12 power on turn 3. So, great games. On to the next round. I am on the play. I had to think about that for a second. With this kind of awkward hand, I do have a turn 1 Thorn, but in order to do it, I have to play Chalice on 0. But other than Mox Opal, that doesn't affect my deck. Like, I'm used to playing or Lotus Petal. Okay, there's 3 Mox Opals and 4 Lotus Petals in the deck that is affected by Chalice on 0. But I do get the Thorn on turn 1 and the artifacts in play. I am going to keep this and try this. Just have to make sure to cast my Opal before my Chalice. The opponent is on a Malt of 5. That's probably good news for me. Let's hope Chalice on 0 and Thorn of Amethyst are good against this deck. Whatever it is. A forest. Oh, elves. Not even close. Not even close to close. That sucks. Alright, well. Ethereum Sculptor was a reasonable draw. I'm 1 short of this guy. Yeah, so if I could have done that the other direction and played Chalice on 1, I obviously would have. But we're going to get dumpstered by elves instead of winning the game here. They are on 5, and Thorn does mess with Glimpse, Green Sun Zenith, and Natural Order, which are all their super important cards. I should probably have Ratchet Bomb in this sideboard. I'm just like, why would I ever need to remove a permanent? Yeah, so they had to pay 2 mana to Zenith for 0. I love that. Right, what do we got here? Punished immediately. So you cost... you also cost 1, and it's a harder one. Let's draw the 2. And... Alright, this Chalice on 0 is really coming back to bite me. But Mystic Forge is coming down next turn. First appearance of that one in a while. We can Zenith for 2 here. Ooh. Oh, that's so funny, because it's a creature in your hand. It's not affected by Thorn, and you get this cheap Planeswalker. Alright, make a 1/1 green insect creature token, then mill a card. If an insect was milled this way, put a loyalty counter on Grist and repeat the process. So, Wireward Symbiote is an insect. Sack a creature. When you do, destroy target creature or Planeswalker. Each opponent loses life. Equal number of creature cards in your graveyard. Okay, so they just... What did they do? You may destroy target creature or Planeswalker. It looks like they minused, but they didn't. I don't know what happened just now. Also, activate ability Grist. Oh, they minused, but decided not to sack a creature. Oh, that had to be a misclick. Awkward. Sorry, opponent. Oh wait, I have Thorn of Amethyst, so I can't actually cast this. God, I'm the worst. This just became an absolute nightmare for me. Alright, I'm gonna attack Grist. Or I'll attack Grist with the flyer. And my opponent with the other things. Yeah, no blocks, all your things are gone. Oh, these prison pieces are so embarrassing right now. I could play through one or the other, but having both is just the nightmare. Scavenging Ooze. Okay. That can eat Grist because it's a creature in the graveyard. Jesus. Okay. Fine. That's how we're gonna do this. I will offer up Mirror Enforcer as a like 2 or 3 for 1 if they want to interact with it in combat. I'm not giving them a free lunch on the Frogmite or the Sculptor. They are at 6. I mean, we are moving forward here. At 7, okay. They are fetching for a land. They could Natural Order here. Name Artifact with their Archon of Valor's Reach. I probably can't beat that. Ooh, they hoofed. Is that lethal? It must be, or else why would they do it? 9, 16, 21, 26, -4. Yeah, okay. Okay, so not knowing the matchup was a huge punish there. If I knew that Thorn did nothing and Chalice, I drew 3 of my 7 zeros in the whole deck, while Thorn doing nothing against my opponent. So that obviously was a huge punish due to unknown information. But now we know better. Warping Will, Dismember, and Walking Ballista coming in. I think I want to replace my Thorn of Amethyst with Sphere of Resistance, because that does meaningfully impact my opponent. And the Thorns just come out entirely. But Spheres come in, and then Dismember, Dismember. I gotta find 3 more cuts. Again, Mox Opal is always cuttable. Frogmite bridges the gap between my 0 drops and my 7 drops pretty well, but it's not super important to the overall plan. I do like Ethereum Sculptor, especially if I'm bringing in actual spheres. So that gets me Warping Whale, Walking Ballista, or the 2 Warping Whales, the Walking Ballista. Gotta cut one more card here. They have Allosaurus Shepherd in their deck, so Chalice of the Void isn't what it once was against elves. I'll leave a few in just because they're not irrelevant, but I do have removal for a Shepherd, but that's not what it once was, so I'm going to try to overpower them. Okay, so what does this hand do? Nothing. No second mana source. 2 Mystic Forges. This is bad. Ship it. Okay. Oh shit. Warping Whale needs colorless mana to be cast. So this hand doesn't actually cast it, but I think this is keepable. I'm gonna send, I think it's Seed of the Synod to the bottom. Because in a pinch, I can tutor. I do have to watch out for Collector Oof. That's not a card I can beat. I think Mox Opal's one of my best draws here. Elvish Reclaimer, huh? Okay. Seat. Petal. Sculptor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Next turn I can do 2 things. This doesn't ramp, so I don't have to worry about Zenith for Oof. But if Oof is just in their hand, well, if Oof is even in their deck, and then if it's in their hand, we may have some problems. Oh, geez. Oh, this is just going to draw 1. Oh, nope. That lets them draw 2. Alright. Yeah, that doesn't get them a 3rd card. But it does set them up pretty hard for next turn. How about an Ancient Tomb so I can cast this Warping Whale? Alright, that does it too. So Spire Monitor should cost 1 now. Let's monitor that Spire. This costs 0. I'm gonna attack here. Now I guess the question is, do I counter the natural order or just kill the symbiote? This is actually like kind of close. If they have the order, I can't beat it. 1, 2, 3, 4. But if they have Shepherd, then all is lost. I think I'm just gonna get the symbiote now. I have to target symbiote because they can bounce either of the other creatures they would target. Yeah, this is a matchup where having Wastelands in the mana base would be nice. What else would help here? Ratchet Bombs in the sideboard. Definitely lessons learned there. Oh god. Do they just... Okay. Oh, this is Collector Oof. Time to win with my attacking creatures, because I can't tap my lands anymore. So they can block bounce, but that does require them to actually do it. Denies them some resources at least. Luckily my spells are free, so it doesn't matter that I can't activate my artifacts. But there is the oof I was worried about. Natural order. Is this a lethal hoof? Yep. Okay. So combo is pretty soft. Elves specifically. Yeah, that game 1 being a huge crapshoot where I ended up stuck under my own prison pieces was not how you wanted to do that. That was a wasted game based on missing information. And some unfortunate draws, like, let's be honest. I could have drawn so many better cards than my 3-0 drops, but Elves, I imagine, will be a tough matchup no matter how you slice it. There is black mana in the deck between the Bridge and the Opal, so it's possible I just want some number of Plague Engineer in the sideboard. So the technology evolves. This sideboard is definitely a mess, so a lot of work can be done there. On to the next round. I'm on the play in the final round with kind of a banger. I'm going to keep it. We're playing for that 2-3 Pride play points. Yeah, so I've learned a lot of lessons about this deck, and this was very much a brew from the start. So if I Lotus Petal, if I Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal, I can Sculptor and Thorn this turn. Sequencing. Guess I should get this Petal into play before my Thorn. And next turn. You're coming in next turn. Let's go. Let's hope Thorn actually matters against whatever we're playing against. Volcanic Island. There's not many spells. Oh, Dragon Rage Channeler. A creature. My weakness. Alright, so I can spend my... Oh, wait. I can do this first. I guess it doesn't really matter what... Oh, it does matter what order I do these in, because the Thought Monitor will use my Lotus Petal, which is one fewer artifact for the Sojourner. That into play. Chipped Image. Alright. I'm excited to play against Blue-Red Delver again. This is the first appearance of Dragon's Rage Channeler. First time I've seen this card in play. This is definitely something that I'll be playing on the channel soon. Gotta test this out. But the card's pretty embarrassing when you don't have Delirium. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can cast Mystic Forge, but I'm casting it straight into Daze this turn if I do it. And I'm gonna protect my Sculptor. I don't think... Or I guess they might double block. I don't know. They probably should. But I'm not gonna give them the chance. I think this card is really important in my plan right now, especially if I'm trying to get Forge into play under Thorn. Oh wow. This is not a good first appearance of Dragon's Rage Channeler for me. This is better than Mystic Forge. Let's do it. Yes. Go, 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 go. Yes. Oh, it's so messed up. It's so messed up. Storm is 4. This card is free. And I can play Forge. I can do that next turn, though. What's the rush? As soon as they chump this with one of their channelers, the Ethereum Sculptor gets to attack a lot more cleanly. Guess they could Lightning Bolt my flyer. Oh, they get to Surveil, too. That's cool. I forgot about that part of the card. Yeah, so they could... If their top card is like Creature Sorcery, they could have Delirium during this combat. In which case, I'm going to get blown out, and I'm kind of excited about it. They left the card on top, so they're not going to get Delirium this turn. They are going to take their trade. Bang, bang. So, what card would they leave on top? Would they Thorn of Amethyst in play? Ethereal Forager would be pretty good. Anything that gives them Delirium would be good. So they have Creature Instant Land. Oh geez, another Thought Cast. Don't mind if I do. Maybe I should lead on Mystic Forge. Because I can Thought Cast through dead cards. If the Forge is already in play. First real appearance of Mystic Forge right here. Ethereum Sculptor's on top. Yup. Darksteel Citadel on top. Nope. Thorn on top. Yep. Oh, this is messed up. The 3 Ethereum Sculptors are just going off right now. In exactly this case, they are better than... they're better than Grim Monolith would be. I am not going to pay for this because I want the Thought Monitor. Is this a reveal or look? You may look. Okay, they didn't know Thought Monitor was coming. Dazing again. Okay, so this thing is in 3/3 mode. And it has to attack each turn. So, I can actually just not attack, and then this thing has to. And I can just take 3, whatever, and clap back. So, on the Eternal Glory podcast, this most recent episode, we talked about how much of a drawback attacks each combat is. And I said that there are definitely spots where Delver being a blocker is a part of your plan, and this is one of them. Like, they attack for 3, my life total's high, they take 7 on the return. It's not where you want to be. But Mystic Forge is doing the thing right now. Real hard. Because they could Lightning Bolt right now. It's probably the play. That's the play I'm most worried about anyway, yeah. Okay, so they get to kill my 2/2 flyer. For what it's worth, I actually think that Thought Monitor is doing significantly less for this game than Ethereum Sculptor right now. Float blue, cast Opal, float blue, cast Opal. Yeah, first appearance of this. So I want to cast this for X is 2. Or X is 1. X is currently 1. I should be able to do that. Mana cost is reduced by 3. You may change the value of X. Okay, cancel. I just have to figure out how to do this on Magic Online. So do this. Oh my god. Say XX1. Done. That came in on 0 somehow. I tried so hard. I don't know Magic Online. I should be able to put that in as a x equals 1 for basically free. But here we are. Jesus. Yeah, tax effects on Magic Online. That one works somehow. Okay. You got it. Whatever. I'm going to Thoughtcast through these. Bummer. I think I did that wrong. Do I want to draw Thoughtcast if it costs me a life? Or lose Thoughtcast? Alright, fine. Okay. Here come my creatures. Opponent's dead on board. I have Chalice of the Void active. That turn got weird because I'm not sure how to navigate thorns with, like, they cost more, they cost less, and it's a double X. I don't know. I'm sure there's a correct way to do that. But that was a pretty stern beating. So, Dismember, I like. Warping Well, I don't love. Ballista has some text. I think this is probably where I want to be. Shaving Opal, Mystic Forge. Even though it was great that game, this is an aggressive Daze deck on the play against us, so not excited about that. And the second Opal can probably go. Here's the plan. So I've got kind of a slow and steady one here. I'm going to try it. I feel like being on the draw. I guess the double Ancient Tomb is probably a huge knock against this hand. But let's try it. Oh, Delver. That's the good one. I think a Chalice of the Void or a Thorn of Amethyst would be a great draw. Alright, Froggy Boy, not really what I wanted, but Indestructible Land, get in there. It is pretty nice to have just more indestructible lands, because decks like this are usually horrendously bad against Wasteland. Delver flipped automatically. Never fails. Can't catch a break. Says the luckiest person. I frequently do completely boneheaded things and don't get punished, so once in a while Delvers are allowed to flip it against me. I can accept that. Ooh, they shuffled with Ponder and missed their land drop. Alright, well, I don't love tapping Ancient Tomb when my opponent has Delver in play, but this Thorn is going to be really good if they can't answer it, and I can play around Daze by playing it. Nice. So 1, 2, this costs 2, I only have 1. Alright, fine. My goal is to get this Thought Monitor into play before they find their next land. Pass the turn, pass the turn. Okay, yeah, Mishra's Bauble, you can have that one. Yeah, so they can't do anything right now. Right, Seat of the Synod, you're good. How many times do I want to tap this Ancient Tomb, and can I really do anything about it? Guess I have to sort of move on it a bit. Because my blue mana is going to be pretty hungry. Alright, they're currently tapped out of Force of Will, so let's just push. I'll pay 1 for that. Is that what I want to do? I've made my land drop for the turn. I can Thoughtcast first, see what happens. And then I can use my pedal on this guy. Deal. Okay, here we are. Did what I was supposed to do. If their hand has land Lightning Bolt, they can continue the beatdowns. Or they can just concede. Undefeated versus Delver. Blue-Red Delver, Ragavan, Dragon's Rage Channeler. Doesn't matter. No respect at all for that. Okay, so this sideboard needs a lot of work. I'm going to start with Plague Engineers. So I don't think I like the Sphere of Resistances. Like, this deck has a lot of hate against combo already, so I can get a little lower on that. I don't think... I mean, Welding Jar was just a 0-drop card that I put in the deck. I don't know if I need to do this entire sideboard doctoring. Ratchet Bomb. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this whole thing on camera right now, but I am going to submit an improved list from the one I played to the... in the video description. It's going to be linked better. So those are my immediate improvements to the sideboard based on what I played through. And in the video description, I'm going to give both my updated budget version, and I'll do a version that has like the Grim Monoliths and City of Traders in it as well, because that's not a big change. But this deck was really cool. We could see how it would work. The games that we lost. I mean, some of them were dumpsters against combo decks, but both of the decks, Death and Taxes, we got way ahead early and then sort of flooded out, where we could see how a Thoughtcast or a Mystic Forge would bust it open. So definitely the critical mass of things that keep you going here, just having 12 bangers that draw more cards, is something that this deck has not had in the past. That's definitely worth exploring. This should be 3 Mistvault Bridge, because I wasn't thinking about Dismember when I built the deck, but you should have 3 of these and 0 of these. But this dual land cycle is good enough that you can play, oh, especially with Plague Engineer in the board now, but this dual land cycle does give you some pretty new and unusual control over what color sideboard cards you can play. Normally you've had to play weirdos, but you actually get choices. You could even put engineered explosives in this deck. So this is pretty cool. Thank you, Friedrich, for submitting this idea. I'm glad it was as much fun as it was. And everyone else, make sure to comment your suggestions how to improve the deck. Sideboard options especially, I'm interested in. Let me know if you try this and how it goes for you. And while you're here, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.